We are preparing live. We are we are okay, here we are.
All right.
And then let me just drop this link again because I'm not sure I connected it to the correct thing. Um,
Is there too much of a glare off my glasses?
I mean, it happens.
Okay.
Let me close that. So I'm wondering if maybe we should mute. Okay, I muted my live YouTube. Okay. So, welcome to Cousins Critiquing Content. I am one of your co-hosts, Rachel Bloomstrom, and this is my cousin Zachary Bird. I
Hello.
am the pretty cousin of Cousins Critiquing Content, and in the name of the show, I'll tell you what I think.
pretty soldier Rachel Bloomstrom.
Yeah, I'm the pretty girl. I'm the pretty cousin.
I am the ruggedly handsome cousin.
Okay.
Bird. Well, this is of course, is our first broadcast, and yeah, we're going to be talking about Sailor Moon, which I have some experience with a long time ago. And you came in with a fresh perspective. I
Yeah.
remember I watched it back when it first broadcasted in the United States, like back in the mid '90s. So it was like 10 or 11 when it first showed, uh,
Yeah.
and it was a different production and studio then. It was under Geek, and they had different names and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
like Usagi wasn't Usagi, but they were
no.
still Sailor Moon and everything.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
That,
and then I only recently in the last couple of years really started looking at anime. I think part of me because I was so punk rock back in the day, I was like, I'm not gonna watch cartoon anything, even though I definitely did watch cartoon things secretly. So, but I'm really glad, and to me, it's kind of interesting because I can see that in many of these anime that I think what I thought would be just children's shows wouldn't tackle bigger, larger, important concepts and things. And I think that they do it a lot more than, especially younger people realize. So I think anime is great for people of all ages. There is so much involved. And Sailor Moon has been really exciting because I have been watching, is it the shonen that's generally the boys?
Shonen, yes.
And then this is,
It's like more like shouju,
yeah,
but
which
it's kind of
basically means girls.
it's also like a Sentai series, kind of like Power Rangers and stuff like that. It would fall into that category too.
Cool, cool. And so, if you want to share the screen real quick and just show a little rundown of kind of the things we're going to be discussing. Um, as you see, we will be talking about characters as they were introduced. Storyline and dialogue are going to come along, world building, and then we'll have some other conversations. For me, I think that maybe in the 90s, I know bullying was like an anti-bullying campaign was important in the 90s.
There's
Um,
tons of PSAs. Tons.
yes, yes, there's tons of stuff and I love it. And I also love how queer it is. The 90s really did a much better job, I think, in representation than once we hit the at least early
I
2000s.
was gonna say the
And
Bush era, but the Japanese don't care about the Bush era.
yeah. Do you
But
want
there's
to take that down?
yeah, okay. But I'd say there's like more. I think in the mid '90s or the mid aughts, like it felt like more. What's the word I'm looking for? It felt more like violent.
In the
Uh,
90s?
in the mid aughts.
What do you? Oh, yeah. And also, like, personal opinion, I think Friends really kind of destroyed the integrity of characters in shows by having all of the stupidest characters win, and they just really destroyed the one educated person who, like, spoke to reality, Ross. And I just feel like that became a trend. We went kind of backwards to the 80s where whatever. And I get that Usagi is not the smartest person, but I disagree with, they treat her like she's a moron. And frankly, I think she had a learning disability, um, which we can talk about as we get into characters. Um, is there anything else you want to address about our history and looking at the show from the external?
No, I think we're at a good spot. We can start talking about the characters. So do you want to start off or should I?
Um, well, is are we talking about Usagi first?
Yeah, of course we gotta talk about Usagi first. He's the first person we see. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, so I personally love Usagi, and I have been talking about Sailor Moon to some people who weren't a big fan. They're like, she cries all the time, and I'm like, I cry all the time, so I get it. But let's be fair. What she's going through is a lot harder than it seems presented in this pastel colors and whatnot. And I definitely want to talk about Usagi, dealing with abuse later. Um, but I love her. I think she is a loving character. I think she's got a difficult home life, and then of course she's got all of this huge implications riding on her shoulder throughout time. And there's I don't want to say time travel because Pluto is definitely saying no to time travel, but they have access because she's a guardian. Um, and I think that it's hard, especially for younger people, to understand the severity of the weight that she was under. And from what I can tell, she wasn't supposed to be a guardian. She was a princess. And then being put in this position where she's got to fight all the time is not, she shies away from it. She doesn't want to do it. It's scary. It's hard. And Luna's supposed to be teaching her, but instead, Luna also becomes a character who's kind of abusive and insulting. So, yeah, what original?
well, I was gonna say I don't know about that part. Like she's never supposed to fight because she is the most powerful character. So I'm gonna maybe save her for the big bosses. But I don't know about her not never being having to fight.
Oh, I thought I had read somewhere that she was not supposed to be a guardian. She was only supposed to be a princess. So, that's not. And
I,
and
I don't know if
and
that's
a
in the
lot of
official
her
source.
stuff is healing. She
Yeah,
does a lot of healing.
she also does a lot of destroying, with that halation attack that eradicates them. Her tiara, just
I mean,
wipes.
it's invincible, seemingly. So,
No one knocked it away before. I think Queen Beryl did or stopped it.
oh yeah, yeah. And I guess it's true that she. Let me see. I forgot to look and see if there's comments. I don't know how to tell though. Top chat. I guess there's none. So, oh, there we go. Live chat. Yeah, I could see that. Also, she went from being a 14-year-old girl who wants to eat ice cream and,
Talking to our
um,
boy Chase Boys and
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
she's not great at school and nobody's helping her. I mean, I remember, was it the first or second episode? She came home. She had such a bad grade. She's even afraid to talk to her family. And her mother's response was to throw her out of the house and not let her eat. That is not, if your child is suffering, I mean, she doesn't seem like the kind of child who wants to do badly. It's constantly hurting her and embarrassing. And it's surprising that she's been passing school, to be honest. She's
Yeah.
passed
Uh,
a grade.
I kind of want to compare her to another character, Yusuke. I like how they're both. I mean, but Yusuke was a delinquent, but he was also bad at school, and
Yeah.
his home life was also terrible.
Yeah, and that's Yusuke from the Yu Yu Hockey Show. Which I always
Yes.
call the Yu Yu Hockey Show. It's really just Yu Yu Hockey Show. I say the though
Yeah.
because I keep thinking show is the end
It's,
word.
it's it's just hockey show. You don't need the U-E. I think you're adding that E in there.
Yu Yu Hockey Show.
You're adding another syllable in there.
I like it this way. All right,
That's
whatever.
fine. That's fine.
I need to learn how to say it. That's impolite of me. I thought I was
Some
doing it right.
some people get very annoyed with pronunciations. It's not our native tongue, so we're probably gonna say some of the names incorrectly.
Yeah. And I've come a long way when you first get into it, like learning the new names because they're kind of built in a completely different way. It was a little difficult, but now, I've One Piece, Bleach, Naruto.
One Piece
Um,
will have you. There's so many characters in that.
yeah, yeah,
That'll have you practicing names.
yeah. So it
It's
really
basically,
helped. And we'll talk about One Piece sometime for sure.
yeah. Sailor Moon is a lot more manageable than like those other series because
Yeah,
it's not really a lot of characters.
at least
Um,
so far.
I mean, you have like some of the cast, but I mean, like most of the villains are one and done.
Yeah,
Uh, they,
monsters of the week, basically.
I'd even bother writing down the monsters of the week's name because it's not super important. We can
Yeah,
pretty much describe what they did. Um, some of them were cool.
yeah.
Some of them were cool,
Well,
but
yeah. So, who's the next character? I guess we should talk about Usagi's family.
yeah.
Um,
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say we saw Usagi first, and that's when like I think soon after we saw her family, then Luna were all in the first episode.
Yeah. And then her father becomes largely absent, and every once in a while he'll show up, um, and basically make it uncomfortable for her to try to talk to him about dating or love or anything. It's a big with
Yeah,
him.
he seemed pretty open with Mamoru or Mamo.
Well, I just remember when they were at that lake house,
Yeah, the
and
first
he was
time.
like, "What, a boy?"
Stereotypical
Like,
dad
yeah,
series.
like you can't be dating, and here she is in this like very intricate love thing. And he's 17. She's 14. She definitely needs some guidance here.
I want to say like Usagi was had power both thrust onto her and was and also born into it. So it's a weird like dichotomy for a character like that to have be born into power and also have power thrust onto you.
Yeah.
But she didn't know she was born into power though. Like she didn't.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is that where her mother's serendipity?
I guess it was Serena too.
Or,
Serenity too. So her mom gets named her after herself, which
okay.
all move. I'm fine with that. So she's Serenity Junior.
So, but or is are they all the same? Like, is Neo Serenity, and
But then that would be like Chibiusa would be uh Serenity too. Then if you want to say
yeah.
something.
So, well, okay. Well, I maybe we're not far enough in this series to really get a full grasp because we're only through two seasons. So, yeah. And then of course, so opening episodes, we've got her mother starving her and throwing her out of the house for ostensibly a learning disability.
Yeah.
Also, I don't understand why they don't wake her up to go to school. Why she always got to be late.
Mm, she sleeps through her alarms. I don't know. I mean, her parents are right there. They're up. Like it's
Right, they're up. They've cooked breakfast.
I mean, her brother comes in and pesters her, like, "Hey, why aren't you up? Like,
Yeah,
well, try a little bit harder to wake me up." Like, some people have issues waking up in the morning.
I definitely do. So it's another thing that I can super relate to her about.
Yeah, uh,
um,
she's late pretty often though. Like, even when she's 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 tardy a lot. Even when
to
she's awake.
school.
No, and to other things too. She's been tardy. She like some of the meetings with the Sailor Scouts, and
Yeah.
she's not punctual, which is fine.
Well,
It's
early on, her priorities are different than theirs.
yeah,
Like they're very serious from the beginning, and she's not.
yeah. They have different priorities. And
Yeah.
she's busy. She has her friends, like she still wants to hang out with, even though we're seeing less and less of them as the series goes on.
Yeah.
Because it's only we only have like 23 minutes to work through it, and you can't focus on like high school
Right.
drama when you're doing like world ending drama.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, for sure it definitely gets old. So let's go ahead and talk about the other Guardians. What is the
Yeah,
order they're introduced?
yeah, do you still want to go through the first episode because
Oh,
Momo was also introduced in the first episode
oh, and well, I guess I was trying to save the abuse towards the end. Momo is also abusive to her, especially through the first season. All he does is insult her every time.
yeah.
And then Ray comes on and takes that kind of same attitude, which I think Ray is abhorrent to Usagi, um, especially in the first season. It looks
Yeah.
like they realized it was too much and they're like trying to temper it. But
Yeah, we want to go to the next Zeta Scout. So the next Zeta Scout that was introduced was Sailor Mercury, Ami Mizuno.
well, I had the opinions about Luna, her and her family. I would love to hear what you think.
Of Luna.
Yeah,
Um, she's a cat, and like she wants Sailor Moon to lead, but then criticizes everything she does as a leader. Uh, like
instead of teaching her.
yeah, like this, she's not used to leading a team. Like she's 14.
Yeah.
She was just hanging out with her friends until you like brought this into her. So they don't really train. Like you never really see them out training or doing anything like that. They
Yeah,
had
something I thought that was weird in comparison with other.
yeah, because in other animes you see them go out and train and like except for One Piece, they train, but you never besides Zoro you don't see them.
Oh yeah, but it is made clear.
Yeah, it's made clear that they train. This you never see them train. You they don't really talk about training. They talk about meeting up and discussing like the mission. Um, but there's no really guidance. There's pretty much like letting her make mistakes and criticizing her about them.
Yeah.
And even though she doesn't make that many mistakes, she's always on top of things. Like she's the first one on the scene. Like even if it is by accident, and she's always there.
Yeah, it's true. And she saves them a lot too. They act like they save her, but
She's the
you know,
powerhouse.
yeah, uh, casually dodging the speed of light. I remember you brought that up. There was that one fight where somebody was like using a camera, and like it is questionable. Did she dodge at the speed of light, or was she able to predict that it was about to happen and react to that?
So
So
light speed reaction, probably not light speed,
yeah.
which I think light speed reaction still pretty dope.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But did she do that? We're not, to me, it wasn't clear.
She's super powerful. She pretty much resurrected her own team. So like,
She did. Oh my God. Like, even though I knew there were more seasons coming, I really try to invest in what's happening in the moment.
yeah.
And that was one of the most devastating fights to see somebody dragged through, especially since they were so used to fighting together. It was like very confusing to me, why they suddenly separated that way. And I know it was about time, but it didn't really seem to speed anything up.
No, it's just so she can face Endymion Mamoru by herself.
Yeah,
I mean, if they had the scouts there with them, it'd have been over quicker.
yeah.
Because I mean, Tuxedo Mask, he doesn't have a lot of abilities. Like he shows up, throws his rose, gives his little speech, then vanishes.
Yeah, whose speeches do you like better, Usagi's or Mamoru's?
I think Mamoru's are more nonsensical. Usagi's is kind of fun. Like I remember, like once she showed up, I don't know what's going on, but in the name of love, I'll punish you.
Yeah, yeah, she's a really funny character. She
Yeah.
really is.
Then sometimes they say the exact same thing because I guess that's to show how like uh in sync they are.
Yeah.
They have the same pretty much thought processes, which I thought was pretty funny. Like, oh, I said the exact same thing. She did say the exact same thing. So that's fun.
Yeah. So what are your initial thoughts of Mamoru before we get too much into
He
Mercury?
was he was a jerk at first, like especially compared to Motoki, since we saw Motoki
I
first. He was
love
like,
Matoki.
I miss him.
What happened? Why'd we lose him? Who voted him out?
It's timing. That's pretty much all it is. It's like they focusing on new characters, and it's hard to keep. It's hard to keep going back to the old ones, I guess.
Other shows do it.
Other shows do it, but I don't know. They didn't do it in this one because they don't. Actually, they still go to the arcade because they
Yeah,
still,
because isn't Venus great at video games?
uh
Or is it Mercury?
Mako. It was Mako, I think.
No, one of the girls was really great at it. The
Jupiter.
video. Who?
Jupiter.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No.
We just call him Mako.
Yeah, yeah,
Makoto.
Mako. And then I was just mixing it up with Makoto.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there's Makoto, there's Monako, because that's Sailor Venus.
mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Sailor Jupiter is really good at the games because that's where when we introduced to her, that was the episode where like there's that guy, kind of also a jerk, big, backwards baseball cap, glasses, and the white shirt, and he was cheating at the claw game to win.
Oh yeah. But it also reminded Mako of the man she used to love, right?
Everyone reminder of the man she used to love.
Uh, but how, like, to me, like, is it only one man she used to love, or is it every man prior that she's loved? Like, if any of them remind her of any of them.
I think she has one in mind.
I wonder if we'll meet him.
Maybe, I don't know.
We
I
got
don't
to see
remember.
Venus's prior love that she let go, which was the
Yeah,
right thing to do.
yeah. Because he was in Germany, wasn't it?
Well, he was older and he fell in love with her friend, the
Yeah,
other older woman.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, it looked like he was in his 20s.
probably.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay. So Momo, he was Motoki's roommate, I believe, or friend, one of those.
Hmm.
So that's why he was in the first episode because Usagi always hung out at the arcade with Haru, her best friend, her best civilian friend, which we
Isn't
see
it Naru?
Haru.
Oh, well, I guess you looked it up. I'll quit arguing about names.
Yeah, Haru. Then there was their other friend, Gurio. I think
Yeah.
I didn't write down Ray's the other guy at Ray's temple.
I thought his name was Haru.
No, his name I didn't get his name down.
Uh,
I forget it now, but I'll find it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't clarify. Matoko is the guy who runs the arcade, and he's
Yes.
very kind, and he's somebody that Usagi has a crush on,
And
and
so
he's
does Jupiter.
great advice.
Yeah. Yeah. As him or Jupiter and her were in love with him. Well, at one point.
Yeah, why
And then
not? He's
and,
the greatest. Like, he was the nicest, good-looking guy on the show, and I
yeah.
guess he had to go to compete because it was too much competition with Momo. We have to like Momo more than him, and it was really hard to do that first season. I would never have picked Momo over Mataki.
Not even Motoki.
Matoki.
I think it's right how I say it.
I'm sorry. I am learning lines for a couple of different plays right now. So, and very different names.
Yeah. And there's a lot of names across different series, and like
And it happens very fast.
yeah. So okay, so Sailor Moon, we meet her, then like she gets her powers from Luna. Luna gives her this stick.
Yeah, a stick. That's the official name. It's a stick.
The sticks. That's one of the first items that she gets. She gets a few items that are pretty cool. I really like that one she uses to transform into like turn into a stewardess or turn.
Oh yeah, make me a pretty journalist. Or
Yeah.
I just love that she's always very insistent about it. That I better be pretty.
Hey, she's rocking it too.
Yeah.
She
You know what's
does
funny is I relate to her now as an adult, but as a kid, I never would have related to her at that age.
No, when I was first watching the series, like somehow I really liked Ami, even though she's
Turns
now,
out personality less.
bland, huh?
Yeah, bland, personality less is what I said.
Yeah, maybe it was the color. That's what I liked about her. I mean, she's perfectly fine character. It's just she the focus on studying all the time,
Her
which I understand.
catchphrase in the first season was, "And I'm here too." Literally.
Yeah,
And that was true. She
yeah,
was
she is
there too.
an add-on. Like she didn't. Her first attack didn't really do a lot. Um,
Mm-mm.
it was just pretty much a concealer, um,
Yeah.
which is cool. I think it had some offensive ability, but it wasn't like as strong as her newer ones have become.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
speed attack, and she's gotten more powerful. Uh,
Well, and then in comparison with the others, like, they have fire and thunder and those kind of powers, and then she's like
and heart.
bubbles, and it's like bubbles. Like what kind of bubbles? Are these soap bubbles? Like what are these bubbles and why do I believe that they can destroy enemies?
High speed projectile bubbles.
Yeah. Pretty weak. Pretty weak.
They're coming at you at 200 miles per hour.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
I don't know.
guess.
I
Like
don't know
a
how fast they're coming at you. But if a something like say a ball of water that big hits you at like uh 80 miles per hour, that would hurt.
she doesn't have water. She has bubbles. Bubbles
Oh,
are hollow.
there's water in them, isn't there? Water bubbles.
Not that I understand. I mean, later it gets thicker, but to me, bubbles, I'm pretty sure mean it's hollow. It's not
Yeah.
a water droplet. If it was a water droplet, sure. But that's why I find bubbles like so. I don't know. Maybe we should look up what they think that they're supposed to be made
Maybe
of.
it's just a translation thing because they looks like bubbles.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let me.
Because I was thinking like I keep on going back to One Piece when Luffy used the water attack against Crocodile and he was shooting those water bullets out. Uh, those are pretty destructive. So
Yeah.
I was thinking of
But
something like
those were
that.
designed as, like, they were full. Let me see.
Yeah,
Yeah. What are mercury bubbles made of?
Mercury.
Oh, wait. Nope. This is about actual mercury.
Yeah, Mercury. Imagine getting shot with a mercury bullet. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. You couldn't.
That would be way better if she was
Yeah.
shooting mercury bullets and then they could, like, reform and stuff. And she's technologically advanced. So that would be so rad.
Yeah, we never see her hack into anything. Which figure the type of character like her, she'd be doing more technical stuff.
Yeah.
She did more in the second season when she got that visor to
Which are
find
basically Google glasses.
yeah, for Google Glasses payment or thing.
Yeah.
So she had the first augmented reality headset.
So this says mercury bubbles blast creates a fog that can make the enemy cold or else obscure their vision and prevent them from seeing sailor scouts. It can also freeze some enemy attacks, evidence from her fights with Grape and the Doom and Gloom girls. So
Okay.
I guess they're cold and confusing. And in one episode, the bubbles paralyzed the dancer in place long enough for Sailor Moon to destroy it. Mercury Ice Bubbles is an upgraded version. So, but they're still being called bubbles, which to me is not the same as like water bullets.
It's not very fear. It's not a fearsome named attack
Yeah, no, no. To
compared
me,
to
it
like
sounds like a fun day in the park blowing bubbles.
some of the other named characters attacks like
Yeah.
fire mandala thing.
Yes, I love that
Thing.
one because I
Yeah.
just love that it has the that old Japanese like or whatever it is, the the like
Because
sound from the
priestess.
her temple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's a priestess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and Jupiter's, I think, would probably look the best because of the lightning.
Yes. I think thunder means I feel it seems like every time a character has thunder power, what they mean is also lightning.
Well, yeah, like Thor is the god of thunder, but he
Yeah.
uses lightning.
Yes, exactly. Um all right, so then we're already mentioning Mars. She's the second one introduced, right?
She's Mars is the third after, second Sailor Scout after. So we got Sailor Moon, Sailor Mercury, then Sailor Mars. Ray, you know.
And let me tell you, meeting Ray was horrible. The first memory I have of Ray is Usagi really wanted to go on this love cruise. I mean, she really wanted to go. I get that she wanted to do a lot of things, but that's who she
Yeah.
is. She's getting life experience because she's not getting it in school. So, and she loves love. And so she was trying really hard to win. And then all of a sudden, Ray, who is Mars, comes and wins the
Oh,
tickets.
she makes fun of her first for
Oh,
makes fun of her first for trying to win those
yeah,
tickets.
for even wanting to go.
Yeah, then immediately the very next second does the exact same thing. Like
And yeah,
immediate hypocrite, immediate hypocrite.
yes. And then refuses to take, like, Sailor Moon is like, oh, this will be a great chance for us to bond. Let me come with you. And Mars refuses because she's a bitch. And then somehow manages to talk Mercury into going with her, even though Mercury has zero interest in going. So
Rather study.
yeah, Mercury has no interest. Mars technically has no interest. The one person who has interest, Usagi, is left out. And it's just cruel. There was no reason for this. Is your new teammate. Why can't you try? What is it that is like making you like, I know they say that they are combative together. Ray is an antagonist.
Like even in the first meeting they had when Usagi was visiting her temple, she was investigating because people were going disappearing like right after they left the temple, and so Usagi was trying to figure it out. She wasn't accusing Ray of anything. She was trying to get Ray to help her to try to figure it out to help clear their temple's name. And Ray was very antagonistical against her,
Yeah.
uh, just for that. Um, I'm like, okay,
I,
Ray.
I haven't seen Usagi approach anything with a closed mind or like everything's been open and wanting to assume the best in people. And here we have this character who comes and stomps all over it. And then, of course, finds the other abusive character, Mamoru, and is like, oh, he was just mean to Sailor Moon. Now I like him.
Yeah.
That was what did it.
And he was not interested in Ray at all. Like
No, he wasn't.
he was not, like she was just hanging on to him. He looked completely uninterested and bored. I don't even know. Was he? Did he even know he was in a relationship with her at the time?
Yeah, he just basically let her drag him around to a bunch of things he had no interest in. What was it? A doll? Was it a doll convention or something they went and looked at?
Yeah. Like, well, why would why would any man? Excuse me, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say that because I'm watching a series right now where there is a guy who's interested in dolls, but I'm like, he's definitely not. Well, actually, no, because he made the hand puppets. He has a tuxedo mask and hand puppet that he used
Oh,
with the chibi.
yeah, but that's different. Like,
Yeah.
that's him being a dad.
Well, he
You
wasn't
know,
even yeah,
I mean,
because
but who takes an early date to something they abhor?
yeah,
I don't think he enjoyed that. He didn't seem like it.
no. I
He was just like, I'm here.
There's a difference between having a puppet and for because he's good with kids than having to going to see dolls. Like
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
he's
interested in
such a
that.
daddy.
Yeah. Even when he
Uh,
didn't know he was a dad yet, he was a dad.
yeah, but that's only the second season. Season one, there was no dad qualities that I was thinking of.
No. He's pretty much kind of a jerk. But he did come with tuxedo mask, and which he seemed a lot different as tuxedo mask than he did
Yeah.
as Momo, even though they look well, he didn't because it was his subconscious at first. He didn't know
Yeah.
he was going out. That's right.
He was compelled to protect Sailor Moon.
Yes.
Um, and it seems interesting that like he also has memories that seem to stretch across time. Because it seems like the show treats time, like Doctor Who is wibbly wobbly, and it's almost like they have a superposition fixed where they can see in all the directions in time, whether it's very subconscious at this point. But Mamoru seems to have the closest grasp and contacts himself through time and memory somehow.
Yeah, because he was talking to his future self throughout Sailor Moon R. That's
Yeah.
the whole reason he broke up with Usagi at first, uh,
Yeah,
which was annoying.
it was very annoying. We got one episode of them together,
Then,
and
then,
God,
then
I
they
just want Usagi to have somebody be kind to her.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. I don't think it's in Crystal. Actually, I've been watching Crystal too as long as this. That didn't happen in Crystal. They just pretty much stay together. Uh, they seem more loving in Crystal.
Good, good. I am gonna catch up on that.
Yeah.
So I wonder, Crystal was redone when?
It started in 2014.
So I'm
So
sure they addressed some of these problems and fixed
it,
them.
they fixed a lot of like the pacing issues, the reuse animation.
Yeah.
It's Ray is not as much of a bitch.
Well, and and we've got to see those. Like we're saying, they didn't have time to keep like Natako, but they have time to do the whole dress up every single time.
Yeah, that's the amount of reuse animation in the series is kind of annoying. Uh, I understand it because they're trying to pad for time, but like we're fast forwarding like minutes at a time when they start, especially when they do like the group transformation, like
Yeah.
all
Some
five
of
of them
those,
together.
I swear, some of those episodes are like 18 minutes long, 17 minutes long.
Yeah, if you take out the attacks, because they reuse the animation for the attacks, um, and they use the animation for the transformation. I prefer when like, oh, they come in already transformed, and don't have to go through the
Yes.
whole
Oh,
thing.
thank goodness.
Some
Yeah.
of it's cool. Like I still like um the Halation Moon Princess Halation attack. Uh, I know it's still kind of a lineup, but I build up, but it's also really cool to look at because it's
Yeah.
bright and you kind of see more
But
of the
what
attack itself.
exactly does it do? It seems to change what it does because it can heal, it can do a blast. It's what else? I don't it's
It's
got
mostly
multiple.
she uses the crystal for healing mostly, and the halation for attacking. So the halation is more for like destroying the enemy, and the crystal is for healing the enemy.
Yeah. Yeah. Um oh, and I did forget. Um the talking about like having looked at multiple animes, it seems like the person who ends up being the leader is the moral leader.
Yeah.
Um and being strongest helps, but that seems to also come with it. And I think absolutely she's the moral leader, despite like all of this problem she has. Very early in life, she just stays optimistic and kind and, still protects all of her friends, even if they weren't. She was the glue. She's the glue. There's no other, like, Ray never would have stayed around. Like,
No, no, I wouldn't follow Ray because I'd be with her in the first 10 minutes, and we're
yeah,
done.
I would never follow her.
Like if what we saw from like that festival she had at her school and how she's just pretty much micromanages everyone at her
Yeah,
school
it
for that
didn't seem
festival.
like everyone liked that.
Yeah. Oh, everyone did like that. All those girls loved it. They were in love with her.
A couple of them.
No, a
Uh,
lot of them, all of them
yeah, I
were.
guess so. I mean, she definitely just seemed to make a showcase to showcase herself, though.
Hey,
But I
uh,
mean, she did do a lot of work. I won't take that away from her. I organize, since I've started the Quarantine Queens Theater Company. I don't know if you remember, but our first year, October, the original artistic director, Hillary, she was like, "Why don't we do a Halloween marathon?" And I was like, "Okay." And then she was like, "Oh yeah, we could just do like, half a day. We could do like 12 hours."
oh my god.
And except for she'd already accepted her job teaching, and it ended up falling in my. I ended up somehow putting together 6 hours of content from actors, and what a nightmare! Like so much work. It needed more than 1 month to put that together. I
Yeah,
don't know what I was thinking. Um,
but you got
just
through it. You did it.
ambition. Yeah, we did it. We did it. But so I can respect that hard work.
Yeah. just not the attitude behind the hard work.
Yeah.
All right, so we all right. So we've talked about Mars and how much we like the guy at the temple that is in love with her. That
Yeah.
I should have wrote down. Um,
And he
but
makes her a better person.
yeah, he does, and he's a cool guy. Like he's great. Like he's always helping out, and
I mean, risking his life for her.
yeah,
And she's stronger than him.
yeah, she is. But he's cool, and I'm glad he's still around, even though we don't really haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. And her dad is abhorrent.
Grandpa.
Yeah, grandpa.
We don't know what happened to her parents. I guess they're gone.
Yeah.
All right. So that was Sailor Mars. The next one we meet is Sailor Jupiter, Mikado Kino. And first thing we notice about her is she's tall and she's fat.
Yuichiro, right?
Mhm.
Yuichiro? Is that him?
Yes.
I know why I was getting it mixed up. It's Hikawa Shrine. That's what I kept thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So first person we meet Sailor Jupiter. First thing we know about her is she's tall. And that she's also very strong and tough. Uh,
Yes.
and she's going to Usagi school, but she's not in the same uniform as them because they don't have one in her size. So she's sticking with her old uniform, and
Yeah.
they never get one for her. So she's always wearing that one, which I'm fine with because she stands out.
Yeah. I mean, her height makes her stand out anyways.
Yeah.
And she's kind of intimidating. Her voice is a little deeper. But meanwhile, she's she's my second favorite. She's the nicest and becomes friends with Usagi and they have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, she's also a love freak. Like she loves hard and loves frequently.
Yeah, she's a
Uh,
little boy crazy.
yeah. So they bond over food.
Yeah.
Usagi loves to eat food, and Mako loves to cook food. So they're like a match made in heaven.
Yeah. Yeah. And then and then, they both also like Motoko and Mitoki. Um and I get that, and yeah,
Yeah.
they're I was so glad for that relief, and finally having somebody who's part of Usagi's life who's supportive and she can have fun with, besides her friend, the redhead,
Haru.
who Haru is always getting captured.
Troublemaker. First, her mom's like jewelry place. Her mom's a jeweler, and that's like I think it's like that was the first monster they fought was there. It was the
Maybe.
first and second. Was at that at Haru's mom's like jewelry store. So of course she got there. Then Nephrite fought. Well, here's the fall. He uses Haru to try to find
Yeah.
Sailor Moon, and she falls in love with him, even though he's pretty much a dick to her most of the time.
But he had
Uh,
beautiful hair.
he had great hair. He did.
He had really good hair.
And I guess that was enough. Like bad attitude and all. I guess she liked the bad boys. Um, but he was
He did get nicer to her.
a little bit. He did save her, and sacrifice himself to save
Oh
her.
yeah, by the end he really did. He grew. We did see a growth arc in him,
Yeah. Uh,
albeit it was he was a pedophile. Mm.
he is a few thousand years old. Actually, yeah, he's a few thousand because he was those Jedi, Nephrite, Zoisite, and Zoomsite. They were originally Prince Endymion's subjects before Queen Beryl took control.
Oh, yep. Yep.
So they're old.
Yeah.
Before Heavenly Kings. I don't remember much about Jedi because he was pretty much killed off pretty quickly, like after he fell
Yeah,
to
he was a character to avenge, I think.
Hmm?
He was basically a character for Nephrite to avenge.
No, you're thinking of Zoisite and Coonsite.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, no, because most of the bad people, except for in the second season, did seem to care about each other.
Yeah. There's more rivalry between in that group. But like Zoe side and Coon's side were in love with each other.
Yes.
Uh,
It was so
uh,
nice to see a lovely gay couple
yeah.
just openly love each other,
Openly gay, openly evil.
openly evil. They
Yeah.
shared, just a lot of interests.
And like being evil.
Yep.
Um, and Zoe side like saying Zoe a lot, which we turned into a drinking game. So
Yes. Oh, yes, yes. There's the Sailor Moon drinking game that we made. Obviously, Usagi crying, which did end up turning into being kind of a superpower. Um, that also Chibiusa seemed to pick up in one episode. I don't remember.
yeah, because she was raised as a royal, so she has more experience with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, crying's a superpower. And yeah. Um, so that was fun.
Yeah. And then the last guardian, Venus, finally shows up.
The prototype.
Yeah, and Venus has been operating on her own. Like Sailor Moon was actually a fan of hers. She had her own anime or whatever.
Sailor
And
B,
huh?
an arcade game. Sailor B.
Yeah. Yeah, she was already doing it on her own, which I thought was weird cuz it I don't know why it took so long for them to get together cuz Artemis and Luna knew each other, right?
Yeah, because they contacted. Actually, I might be thinking of Crystal, where they contacted Luna, but I think here in this series they just showed up one episode.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I
But
mean they were doing their own thing. I guess they took them a while to get back in the country because they were globetrotting. Because I guess he's been active 6 months, a year before Sailor Moon.
yeah, she was
Exactly.
badass. She was
Yeah,
well oiled, ready to fight.
yeah. She's also another warrior of love and justice because her, Ai is means love.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, like I said, all their last names have to do with their pretty much their powers.
so can you tell us what they are?
So Sukino, Suki means moon. No means pretty much like the god
Usagi
of the moon.
Tsukino.
Yeah.
Yeah, say the full name. So,
So Usagi of the moon, Ami of the water, Muzino.
okay, that's why you know it was water.
Yeah, because I remember that because I was like thinking, I'm thinking of also One Piece, but he had the Mizu attack from the Japanese translation. Mars, Hino, he is fire. Uh, uh, Makoto Kino. Kino means tree field because she also has plant powers as well
Oh,
as thunder powers.
we just haven't
Uh,
seen it. I
we see it in Crystal more. I think
Yes.
she's once. I don't remember. Actually, we see it in Crystal. Uh,
Yeah. And also you've told me there's better fight scenes. I'm
there,
not
there are.
Yeah,
They're
the
not.
fight scenes are so from just
But
they get better.
we had like topics that we originally want to talk about during these choreography is one of them. There is not a lot of choreography in
Yeah,
these
there's no
battles.
reason.
All it
Mm-mm.
is either blasting and love, and that's all the power you need. Uh, there's no like Naruto taijutsu fights where you're just throwing hands. This is pretty much
Yes.
you might see a sword clash every now and then with Endymion or with him using his cane or something,
Yeah,
but
it's been a while. Wait, there was only the one, right?
I think so. Didn't he use something against Prince Demond
Um,
or
I don't
Rubius?
remember. I feel like if he did, it would be like a cane to go with his top hat.
Yeah, he's the king.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he used. Not a cane sword like Brooke, but just a cane.
Yeah. Yeah, but he also seems like pretty powerful. But we
Tuxedo
don't.
Mask.
Yeah, Tuxedo Mask seems. God, that name is so dumb. I preferred the Moonlight Knight.
Moonlight Knight was a dope name.
Yeah,
He looks a little bit better. He doesn't wear the top hat as much in Crystal.
good.
Yeah, the top hat
And
needed to go.
I just feel like they could have come up with a better name than like, he's wearing a tuxedo and a mask.
maybe he's the translation too. I think his name might be better in the Japanese version.
Maybe. Yeah, because I was like trying to think of something because at first they give it kind of like that Spanish flair, and he's very romantic, and I was
Yeah.
just like, why don't we play on that theme? But
Well,
whatever.
Moonlight Night, he was kind of had like an Arabic flair to him, but he was also said adieu, which was French. So he
Yeah,
it's kind of mixed.
he's worldly.
He represents love from all over. Uh,
Yeah,
French love, but he had a better look. That mask and the turban, it
yeah,
looks slick. It looks slick.
yeah. I
The
liked it. Yeah.
the tuxedo is a little bit too much. Um,
I would be okay with the tuxedo if we didn't have the Monopoly hat.
yeah, get rid of the hat. Yeah, like I said, Crystal, get rid of the hat.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so that's Venus. It's really okay. So Venus, I realized we just said her name, then we talked about something else. Uh,
Yeah. Well, we talked about her a little bit. I mean,
yeah,
she was
she
the
was.
prototype, as you mentioned. And what is her power again?
Love, because
Oh,
the love.
yeah, Love Me Chain.
Yeah.
That shows up in
So
season 2. What was her first season?
I forgot who her first attack was. I didn't write the attack names down because there's there's so many.
Yeah.
Um, but it might it has something else to do with it too. Let's see if I can find her real quick.
Yeah. Um, and then, so I just have a few favorite lines or interesting things that I wrote down. Demand. One of the ones that he said before his demise was, "There's no such thing as romantic love. It's all about power." Um, and yet his last words were, "Sailor Moon, I love," and he died. But I think the last word was going to be myself.
So I love lamp.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to know.
Yeah.
And then of course the "You can't make me yell out refresh. You're not gonna heal me." That was one of my favorite. I
uh,
also like her line when she's talking like, "Even if we were dressed in haute couture or something." I don't remember. It's pretty
oh,
funny.
there's the one where there's I was thinking Tuxedo Mask was going on his spiel, then like Sailor Moon was like, oh, you kind of lost me on that one there.
Yeah.
That sounded kind of like gibberish.
She's funny. I love it. I love how silly the show can be sometimes, which really makes up for the lack of fighting.
Yeah. I was saying,
Or
I was
like,
like, there's tons of stakes in the show.
yeah.
But yeah, the fights are probably the lowest point. I mean, I don't go into these series for like, and they're cool, they're good add-on.
Go ahead.
I didn't say anything to you.
I didn't say that.
I was talking to Siri.
Oh, I was like, because I was like, I didn't say that.
Yeah. Um, I'm sorry, I lost track of what I was saying. What did I just say?
Oh, you were talking about how you don't watch these shows necessarily for the fight.
Yeah, don't watch necessarily for the fight. I mean, shonen is battle shonen. There's fights in there, and this, but I more go for the story aspect than the
Yeah.
action aspect. I'm a show could have great fights, but a shit story, and I would make me
Like, you
better
got an
about
example?
it. Let's. I don't want to say
Well, Sailor Moon.
yeah, the Sailor Moon, the terrible fights, but that's the inverse of it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I try to forget stuff that I don't like. So
Yeah. Same. I don't, yeah. That's a good way to live life.
yeah, like I don't want to reflect on like, okay, I'd rather hold on to the stuff I do like, and if I don't like it, it's probably for a reason.
Yeah.
I can't really think of one off the top of my head. Like, I'm
Well,
sure.
anyways,
Yeah,
what about, okay, so we haven't really talked about the whole story arc and line, or do we have any other major characters we need to cover?
oh, we didn't talk about Artemis.
Oh yeah, Artemis and also Pluto. We did finally meet Pluto,
We did meet
which is
Pluto.
so sad. Like her life is
Yeah.
the saddest, loneliest.
She's the guardian
thing.
of time and space, so she's
Lives outside of
forever
it.
alone. Yes, outside of time, forever alone. Uh, looking after, making sure no one messes with the timeline
Why can't somebody trade out with her every once in a while?
because it's her power for space and time. And
Oh, so can she control it or just the doors?
I think she
I
only
guess we'll
controls.
find out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll find out. I think we see her more in the next season because we only got a very one episode, I think, of her in this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't get to see her a lot of her.
yeah,
And I guess for next season, we're going to see more of the Sailor Scouts. We're getting at
yes,
least getting two more.
yeah.
We saw for the preview episode.
I am hoping for Uranus because I am 14 also. I'm just
I know which ones are coming,
I
so
bet it's Saturn and Neptune. That's my guess.
I don't think I'm not gonna say because I don't let you figure it out. I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
it. Yeah. All right. So I know what it is, so I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna make a guess.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah, I'll let you go with your guess then. But
sure.
I'm not saying anything. All right. So Sailor Pluto. Then we have
Artemis.
Artemis, the white cat. They also make fun of him a lot. Uh,
Yeah, they're so mean to him.
Yeah, he was trying to help out the team. He was going undercover, and they were giving us up. Oh, he's just gonna screw it up again. It's like, God damn, like
This is the most unsupportive team of love and justice I've ever seen.
I mean, they're no straw hats.
No.
I mean, like I'm saying, the straw hats make fun of Luffy, but they still respect him and his decisions.
Yeah. And also what they're saying is true, and he's unbothered.
Yeah,
You know, he's unbothered. He knows who he is.
yeah,
Uh,
he knows his strong points. Like he's not
yeah.
gonna, and he'll admit to his weak points. He
And
had a feel about it.
yeah, and he lets them mostly, like run stuff until it's time to make a decision, and
Yeah,
then when he does,
he makes the final decision. He pretty much he doesn't micromanage, he lets them do what he does. Usagi's still pretty sensitive about how what they say to her. Like Leafy will later roll off his back. Usagi takes it personally because she's
it
just
is
14
mean though.
Yeah, yeah.
She didn't really have anybody to support her in her life prior to that. She's just been doing her best, and it never seems good enough for anybody.
No.
And yet, she's better than all of them. She's the moral leader, she's the kindest, she's the most powerful, and she actually is holding them together. Because
Yeah.
pretend you put any one of them in charge, like, they're not really probably going to stay together.
No, I mean Ami, because she doesn't have a strong leadership personality or anything like that. She's smart. She couldn't lead.
Mm-mm.
Ray is too abrasive. Jupiter and Venus, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say they're maybe good. But they also can kind of clash with a lot of the other. Like they clash with each other, like Jupiter and Venus do. Uh,
Yeah.
maybe because they're no, they're like the second in line.
Yeah.
Um,
But also they're not too mean. They
no,
just they just don't like agree or think. Oh, something we forgot to mention about Venus is how she's always messing up sayings, which is lovely.
yes,
It's pretty funny.
it is. It is. Okay. Do you want to mention? Oh, so did we talk about her brother at all? Because her
I
brother,
mentioned him briefly because he was very abusive in the beginning as well. And his
yeah,
mom is just like, no problem.
and he's also a huge fan of Sailor Moon.
Yes.
He loves he's a huge fan. He loves her and so it's kind of like I'm making another comparison to another series like Flash Thompson and Peter Parker. Uh, because Flash Thompson was Peter Parker's bully. He treated him like shit, but he loved Spider Man. He's his number one fan. And Peter is like, my number one fan is this fucking guy. Uh,
He's like, you only get one for real.
yeah. they rehab their relationship later on, which I'm sure. I don't know if Shingo and Usagi do. I don't remember if they do or not. We're seeing less of him too.
Yeah.
But we saw him a little bit during when Chibiusa was staying with them.
Yeah.
Just can't avoid them.
Yeah.
They're in the house. But yeah, I remember him having a crush on a girl.
Oh
And
yeah, her brother. Yeah.
and they're Usagi was trying to help him too with that too.
Yeah, she's a good big sister.
Yeah,
She's just so kind to really everyone, even the people who are mean to her.
yeah. So she was trying to help him even when does treat her like a dick.
Yeah. And it's not corrected by their mom or
No.
dad. And everyone's just like everything is fine here. So, I wonder how much when you first watched the series was it apparent to you and other people how abusive her environment is?
I don't think I thought about it that much because I was 11 years
Yeah.
old. I mean, it's hard to remember what my original thoughts were because it's been so long.
Right, but you know, I just wondered like how much did the bullying stand out when we were younger, or
I,
how much would I have noticed? I mean, I was pretty sensitive. I
yeah.
might have noticed.
I don't remember a lot of it. It might have been because of the translation too, because they did censor a lot. They kind of redid some of the story. Like, I mean, all the
Yeah.
names, most of the names are changed. Um, like I told you about that. Usagi was Serena, even though I'm thinking that during that time period, Ninja Turtles was big, and there was a character named was it Usagi Yojimbo, the rabbit
Oh
character.
yeah.
So I don't know why they had a Japanese character named Usagi here. I don't know why they can just use it for Sailor Moon too. But no, they changed her name to Serena, which as far as name changes go, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's because she becomes Serenity as well. So Serenity, Serena. But as far as name changes go, it wasn't bad, but it was unnecessary
Yeah.
because her name is used as a code name too, like the rabbit. She's rabbit and Chibiusa's little rabbit.
Or small
So
lady.
small lady.
But let's go ahead and talk about this story arc from season one. If you want to give us an overview of what happened.
All right. So first thing we see, we meet Usagi. Then she helps Luna, who's being bullied by a bunch of kids. She saves her. She takes like the band-aid off of Luna's head. I don't know how the band-aid got there. But there's a band-aid across the head that was covering up the moon, the crescent moon symbol on her head. Uh, the
Which that awoken memories, right? She didn't remember before that.
No, Luna still remember. She remembered some things. She was on a mission to find the Sailor Scouts, and the first one she met was Sailor Moon.
Bless you. I'm just petting my dog over here. That's what's happening.
So we she meets Usagi. She follows her around a little bit. Then she gives her the stick to turn her into Sailor Moon, and then pretty much sends her out on a mission to fight a monster. Kind of tells her about what's going on, like queen barrels, uh, gathering energy or trying to find the legendary silver crystal, uh,
Yeah.
and also find the moon princess, which is aggravating. Like, hey, moon princess, who could it be? Who could it be?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and so like the whole first season was Queen Beryl trying to find the silver crystal for what was her purpose? To I don't know, be
For
powerful
evil,
for
take,
evil
take over the
general
world.
evil purposes.
Yeah, her and Queen Metalia, because Metalia was also another character that we really didn't really see a lot. Like she was kind of a leader, like she was manipulating Queen Beryl, but then they kind of merged in this one, and I think Beryl took her power, and that's at the end though when they did that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we had Queen Beryl. So we had two queens, Beryl and Metalia. Um, So those were the two big bosses. Then we had the four heavenly kings. Uh, Jadeite, which is like the saw in the first few episodes. Nephrite, which we already discussed. He was trying to find Sailor Moon. Kind of fell in love with Haru. Died. So Haru went through tragedy with that. Zoe side and Kunzite. So we pretty much meet Usagi. She fights him, beats him. Then she's pretty much doing that by herself for the first, was it 3 or 4 episodes,
Yeah.
until we meet Sailor Mercury. I'm trying to remember the story in which she was introduced. We saw her like we were introduced to her because she's the top scoring person in their grade, or I think maybe their whole school.
Yeah.
Um, so that's how we're introduced. Hey, she's smart.
I mean, you
And
need a smart tech person on every
you
team.
do,
It's
you
That's
do.
how they succeed.
Yeah. So she was smart. That's how she's introduced to us. She's pretty shy. She's kind of reserved. She doesn't have a lot of. Ami doesn't have a lot of friends because she's more focused on her studies, which
It
is
doesn't
fine.
seem to bother her either.
No, which is fine. I mean, Usagi kind of creeps her way into her
Wasn't
circle.
like she's the number one prep fake test
Cram
scorer
school.
and
Yeah, yeah, the cram school.
yeah, prep tests, not the actual tests of
Yeah,
anything.
no.
Just practice tests.
What I guess is it's pretty common in Japanese. They have these cram schools, so
Yeah.
they go to regular school and then they have one to go to cram school like after. So it's school on top of school.
Yeah.
It gets competitive there, but it leads to burnout. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of burnout. It's been like a issue there in the past couple of decades about the burnout that they're facing because of their workload that they're putting on them. Um,
Well, and you see other, I mean, just sidebar, you see other countries like Denmark where they've moved a lot of classroom to outside, especially younger, and they've reduced the amount of school and they're much happier and they're very smart as well. Um,
yeah,
and they do, like, I've seen some of the stuff where they like have just above toddlers, like learning to whittle and climb trees and learning to trust their own abilities and stuff. And it was just, they were so much better prepared for school.
yeah. It's, I don't know how they do it like in Japan. I've only seen from like within anime and other live action series, but it seems like they're pretty strict about school.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And well, and is
but
it
they also,
Japan where people who fall asleep like at their desk at work, like that's seen as kind of good because it means they work hard?
yeah, and you see a lot of people like work themselves to death in Japan, like actually work themselves to death, trying to maintain like even like the mangakas, uh, let's take Nako Takeyachi, the author of Sailor Moon, just like her husband. He worked until he had back pain, and that's why his schedule slowed down a lot since then. But
God,
there,
back pain is tough because it affects your sleep, it affects your ability to function. It's hard to
yeah,
focus in chronic pain. I get it.
he's crunched over a desk all day drawing, which would be hell on your back.
Yeah.
It's amazing some of these that's why I all praise to Oda because he's still doing it after 25 years now,
Yeah.
and he's still keeping up a working schedule. Um, but it's a hard job, so he gets like 4 hours of sleep a night, if that.
Crazy.
Uh, yeah. Um, they work crazy hours. I don't know how we try to
And
guess.
Americans, they tried like capitalism tries to convince us of that, but now we just have massive mental health issues in this country, and yeah,
Yeah, and Japan has those too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But okay, back to the story arc. So just real quick, so the whole first season, and we talked kind of about those characters and that very loving evil gay couple. And I like her friend early on, the guy in glasses. Like he wore dresses a couple times. Like,
Gurio
and
or Gur, I can't think of that name.
I can't think
Amino,
of his name. He's kind of weird.
Gurio, Amino. I wrote his name down.
Yeah, he's the one in love with Haru,
Yeah,
right? Um, um, yeah. So I guess the first season really was kind of about introducing a lot of the characters, and it had this general existential threat
yeah.
of losing this legendary silver crystal while they all look for the Moon Princess to protect. And da 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 da. Spoiler alert! It's Sailor Moon.
Oh wow, who would have guessed the name? The only character with Moon in her name, who looked like
Yeah,
who looks like
I'm the
the Moon
main
Prince,
character.
who looks like the Moon Princess because they've seen flashbacks of her hairstyle.
Yeah,
Uh,
nobody's in disguise. Like this idea that
I think like their outfits can like a perception filter thing because they don't wear masks or anything like that.
yeah. You mean
To us, it
shorten
looks
the
like,
skirt and everybody loses their mind and can't recognize you?
yeah, but they're focusing on the legs because
Yeah,
they all have very long legs.
they do. And then their shoe choices are very interesting. At least everybody's shoes are like laced to them because at least Venus, she's got the little ankle part that'll hold your shoe on, which is the only way I can wear heels. And then
Yeah,
somehow Mars is walking around fighting in pumps. Like,
yeah.
no.
And she keeps her balance too. Like that's why that's why she'll chastise you because she's not gonna
Yes.
run. She's not gonna run. There's the
Yeah.
chastisement over here.
Like, how dare you not work as hard as me? She's
uh,
really self-centered too. She
yeah.
really is. I'm sorry. I don't have many great things to say about Mars. I hate
Um.
it too because they try to make up for it by making her like caring physically, like especially in season 2. And to me that's just like you don't get to undo abuse.
I think she was more palatable in the second saga than she was in the Dark Kingdom
Yeah.
saga.
And to be fair, it's a cartoon character and
Yeah.
and like a lot of times in season 1 of a lot of shows, like people will be slightly more caricature, like really leaning into what their part in the show is.
You gotta find your
Um,
legs.
and then they tend to soften a lot of characters later.
Yeah, you gotta find your leg. Like saw that with like early Naruto and One Piece and uh Supernatural.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Black Clover. Like, can we like lower Asta's screaming, like
Yeah.
this constant yelling?
And cut back on like Noel's like insecurities. I mean, it was part of the story, and she grew past them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Not pretty quickly, but because she
I mean,
had,
she's
yeah,
still like, I am nobility every once in a while, but I get it.
yeah.
She is nobility and she feels like she's not being respected like she's used to. But
But she's also of the people. She helps. She's with in the crowds. You're more ahead in Black Clover than I am.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm all the way up to date and it's
Frustrating.
angering to know that like we've been building towards the Spade arc and then it's like, maybe we won't do it. Like, are you kidding me?
Get a movie. I mean, they did that with Demon Slayer. Like one of the sagas, they turned into a movie.
Yeah, I actually just started Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, I have problems with Demon Slayer, but the animation though, it's great,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, some of the
Uh,
story, it's a story about forgiveness, but some of these people were just monsters, and like I understand you get turned into a monster, but it's hard to
yeah,
forgive.
if you don't have Sailor Moon there to halation them back into kind people, like
It's
hard to
hard to
forgive
forget
people who
someone
aren't
who's
sorry.
killed. We'll say that the villains in Sailor Moon, I don't think they really have killed anyone. At least,
No, they kill Queen Beryl.
I mean, no, I mean, the villains didn't really kill anyone. Uh,
Oh,
I'm trying to think of like the body count, and it's nil.
well, they are trying to take over the world, and they have control, like mind controlled a lot of people and stolen their energy, and the people would have died had they not been rescued.
Yeah.
So, and it would have been a very high body count had that taken place. But I want to get to season 2 and some of the characters getting Chibi Usa. Um,
Do you want to talk about the Makai tree first before we
oh,
get
go ahead. Yeah.
so the Makai tree. So that's a whole film arc. It's also a movie. So Sailor Moon are the movie. It focuses on the Makai tree. So I guess more of a bridge version. So in Makai, we meet I have their names down. L, Al, and An, and they are. I have it written down right here. Horny, jealous aliens. And I think that's the perfect description of them because they are very
Yes.
horny and they're very jealous and they are aliens.
Yeah. And it's because they were kind of left to their own devices, and till they realized what the tree really needed was love.
Yes, they were trying to use nefarious means to power the tree, and it wasn't working. And to so L, he was in love with Usagi, and An was in love with Momoru. Even though they were in love with each other, but they're also jealous about each of them.
Yeah, well, they're hot. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and
They'd never really met anybody outside of their little world, so I'm sure it was very exciting.
yeah, and Usagi was not interested at all in him.
No,
And the same
no.
thing with Momoru, like they weren't interested in these people at all. Like, oh, okay, nice to meet you. Like she always kind of had a hint something was off about him. Uh,
Yeah. And it was so weird how hard she tried to be friends with that girl.
Yeah, it's because they were going to school together. They posed as siblings, which okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what. There's a lot of like incest vibes in this show, like with those two. Then like
Yeah, because they were both born of the tree, right?
yeah, but I guess it's not the same as Breeding Brothers. I don't know. Love is love. I can't tell. I can't say how it works, how inbreeding works
Yeah.
with aliens.
Yeah, it definitely does seem to be trying to show like no boundaries in love, but that can lead to some problematic stuff like pedophilia
Yeah,
and
or
incest.
that wise when wise. We're going to the second season now, but I'm not going. That's jumping towards the end. I mean, I do that. So yeah, they're trying to be evil to each other. They Usagi goes over there for whatever reason.
To check
Uh,
on the girl because they had been concerned that she was new and she didn't really have any friends, and that's
yeah,
why they were like, you can be number one in the play. And
that's true. That's right. She's
they
only
were,
there.
yeah, they were understanding to her, which was weird because she was mean, and Usagi was nice, and yet they were mean to Usagi.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, did we talk about in the first season when we mentioned it before we started talking about the plot where they teleport to Green Barrel's castle. First time we use them seen teleport. Uh, and then the Sailor Scouts are pretty much picked off one by one into because Momoru got kidnapped earlier and was
and brainwash.
brainwashed by Green Barrel and to become one of her soldiers. Um, so Sailor Moon and Momoru had a fight, and Sailor Moon, with the power of love, was able to um, cure him of his brainwashing, and then they had the final clash with Green Barrel. I feel we
Yeah.
should have mentioned. I wanted to mention that. I know we,
Yeah, yeah.
but that
Because
Momoru
I
being
did mention it
brainwashed.
briefly, but that final fight scene was devastating, because there were all of these, bad guys they had to get through, and we watched each of the Sailor Guardians literally sacrifice their entire life so that
Usagi can go
Usagi
for
could go and save Mamoru and the world ostensibly.
yeah. They didn't know they were going to get resurrected.
Mm-mm. No, and then that moment where even dead, they helped her.
Yeah, they combined their powers even while they were dead, and yeah, they pushed back and they beat Barrow. And Princess Serenity wished that she could have a normal life for a little while, and
Yeah.
then they are resurrected. Um, and
It's almost like they turned back time.
I don't even know the turn back time. Like
Yeah.
she might have created a new prison with her powers. Because like her, the Silver Crystal OP,
Yeah.
or is
We don't
she
even know what all it can do.
is the Silver Crystal OP or is the Serenity OP? It's or
Maybe
both.
Serenity. I don't know.
Is a crystal an extension of Serenity or like
It
I'm
seems to be because we see later Chibiusa uses it and then ends up dressed like her mother.
yeah.
So
So
I don't know. I guess we'll find out more a little bit, I hope.
yeah, but Sailor Moon powerful, strong.
Yeah.
Um, like a lot of these monsters of the week shouldn't be a struggle for her. But yeah, then okay, so let's go forward. So they wipe their memory. They're normal people for an episode, not even an episode.
Yeah.
Then because that's when Alan and Anne come into the picture, and
When who?
then the horny, jealous aliens.
Oh, yeah.
That's when they come into the picture, and Luna pretty much no, Luna wakes up Sailor Moon again. Sailor Moon tries to keep it quiet for a little while, so she doesn't.
Well, and Sailor Moon kept trying to save people, anyways.
Yeah, but she didn't tell the other Sailor Scouts about being back because she wanted them to have that normal life, at least for a little bit.
Which
Like,
was
like,
really kind again.
yeah,
Though I feel like none of them were as worried about that as her, except for maybe Mercury.
yeah. I don't think yeah, they don't care about having a normal life.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't it Haru she had to save again that brought out her powers?
Yes, always Haru
Haru. And
or
she
Haru.
knows it too. She's like, why am I so attracted to bad things?
Yeah, like she's had bad luck. She thought it was her, but it's really Usagi.
Yeah.
Her proximity to her. Well,
No.
actually, no, the jewelers wasn't her fault.
Nope. And neither was Pretty Hair Boy. Well,
It's just
kinda.
proximity. It's he was
Yeah.
looking for Sailor Moon, and he noticed like she saved her a lot, so
Yeah.
there's a connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, so Alan and they pretty much the Makai tree. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a lot because I
Yeah.
don't. It's hard. I'm not thinking linearly right now. Kind of,
Yeah, so that's why let's just go ahead real quick and then overview season 2 and then it'll be easier to jump around. So
okay,
then after the filler arc, which was honestly
it was very fun. It was
it
good.
was a good
I like
arc. Um, then we are introduced to the Black Moon clan. And the
yes.
Black Moon clan was banished from the moon, is that correct?
From Earth, I think, or
They
both,
were
because
banished from some but they
they're
blamed
from the planet Nemesis.
well that's where they ended up.
They were from there too, weren't they?
I don't think so. I think that's where they were banished to.
I think they were from there, and they were
Yeah.
also banished because they're trying to also come to Earth.
Well, they wanted to be able to come back. So maybe they had been banished from Earth. I don't know. They had been banished because that's why they wanted to take Earth back over, which they felt was rightfully theirs. Is
Oh yeah, they were also from the future. So
yes,
they were
the
from
year
their
3000 or
yes
something,
30th century. They're from the 30th.
2900.
Yes, probably
Um,
same. Problem. I'm thinking late 2900s if they're going to try to keep it.
yeah. And the
Relevant.
reason that we end up back in the 20th century is because Chibi Usa grew up hearing stories about how invincible Sailor Moon was from Mamoru. So she went back to try to find her um, or the silver crystal. Seems specifically she wanted the silver crystal from Sailor Moon, which seems like terribly irresponsible if you know how invincible and powerful she was ask her for her help. Don't steal
Also,
from her.
also, she already lost one. That's the whole reason she went back, because she lost. She thought she lost the one in the future,
Yeah.
because she went into the. We find out later, and she went to the room where the crystal was stored, and it ended up inside of her. She thought she lost it. That's why she went to the past to try
Yeah.
to find it.
Oh, see, I thought that happened in the 20th century somehow.
No, no, that was in the
That
future.
makes more sense. So here comes Chibi Usa into Sailor Moon's life, totally hypnotizes her way into the family, doesn't belong there. Nobody knows who she is, creating all sorts of mischief. Everyone is super easy on her. And even, like, I don't know, it was very weird. Um, and then, of course, she takes to picking on Usagi just like everyone else, because why not? If everyone else is doing it, then this is fair game.
Like, she hated, like she said, she hated Usagi at some points because of she thought she was irresponsible and
Yeah,
whatnot.
you're a 7-year-old child
You are freeloading in this woman's house.
and you're jumping on her bed and you're trying to steal things from her. You're lying to her family.
and,
Like,
and apparently she doesn't know that Usagi's Sailor Moon at this point.
even
She finds
though,
out later on, even though it's obvious. Like, why else would Usagi have the silver crystal unless he was Sailor Moon?
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why she was so surprised by that, because in the future she knows the Sailor Scouts. Like, I don't know if their names are different in the future. Like,
no, didn't seem like it. Maybe
uh,
their first names or,
they're
but they
still
were,
going. They might still be just going by Pluto, Mercury, Mars.
and they
Uh,
look the same. They're the same actual people.
so here's a question. It's kind of unrelated. Is Would Tuxedo Mask be kind of like Sailor Earth? Since there is no like Earth representation, we have
I don't, he's not a guardian.
he's the Prince of Earth.
Oh, maybe,
Because remember,
maybe.
He's Prince Endymion. He's and he lived on Earth, and Usagi came down from the moon because she wanted to learn more about Earth society and culture, and she met him and fell in love.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't seen the original story. We've just kind of heard it.
Okay, so
Um,
that's how that happened.
yeah. And so we watched Chibi Usa, and then we watched this group of evil Moon Clan calling her Little Rabbit.
Yeah,
Um,
we start
and
off with Rubius and the four sisters. I have them right here. What's the name?
Pets is one of them.
Yeah.
And
The
Pets, I
Spectre,
very clearly remember Pets hates men, has absolutely zero interest in dating, and that will come back up.
except for Sapphire.
But that was all of a sudden. They hated each
Oh,
other too.
yeah.
It was only when
Uh,
she realized he might die.
there's Calaveras, who had similar powers to Sailor. She was the medium. She had like a golden outfit with brown hair. Because they each fought like one of the Sailor Scouts. They're each kind of tied to one of them. Cohen, um,
Going.
Cohen, yeah.
And she was
Uh,
the first one of the sisters to
get,
switch sides, right?
yeah. And she was one. Yeah, she was the first one. Then there was Berthier, who had the very interesting front braid, which I don't think I've
Yes.
seen since. Like, people wrap the braid around the front of her head.
Yeah,
Uh,
I like it.
yeah, I mean, it's that. Then she hair regular hair is pretty much long. I guess she comes down braid. I don't know how she did it, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how practical it is.
Well, sometimes we have like things like that that look like the rest of her hair, but it's disconnected. So she could have made it out of a lock of her hair and then wear it like a headband. I don't know.
She could
Um,
have.
but also, you can just pull from the back. I mean, she did have long hair.
She did.
It
So I
would
think she kind of braid and came around the front. Uh,
I think that I don't know. Maybe it wasn't attached just because of logistics and how it looked, but
yeah. So that's Berthier. So she's the one with ice powers who challenged Ami to chest, and then she got body that chest.
Yeah.
She tried to like psych Mercury out. Then Usagi like cheering, only person cheering at the chess tournament. Yeah, go on, beat her
I
ass.
know.
And they're telling her
I
be
would
careful.
love a friend like Usagi. At first, I thought no, because she's got kind of an annoying voice. I think it gets better though.
Yeah,
It seems like her voice gets a little less annoying, and she's just so awesome and fun and supportive. Like I can't say enough about how much I like Sailor Moon. Honestly,
yeah, she's fun. She's very like she's everyone's cheerleader. She wants everyone to succeed pretty much.
yeah.
Um, so those are the first. We meet them. They have a few
There was
episodes.
four sisters.
Four sisters,
What
and
was the
they're
last
all
one?
Cone, Berthier, Calaveras, and Pets.
Okay, and then Chalaveras is
She's the one that fought Sailor Venus. She kind of had like the brown hair. She kind of
yeah.
like a golden
And then
outfit.
Pets is the one whose outfit looked like it had actually put nipples on the outside. It was like this green thing, and then it had like nipple spots on it. Like,
Yeah, Cone was the one in purple. She had that great outfit. Uh,
yes, I love. She was the coolest looking. Though Berthier had some nice icy blue,
yeah,
aquamarine.
a lot of these designs are based off of a fashion fashion designers works.
Oh,
I saw it on Twitter a couple weeks ago. I can't remember the name of the guy. Or I'm assuming that guy, a person. I don't know if it was a woman or guy. Um, so I don't remember the person's name. But a lot of that designs are based off of a fashion designer's works. So there's some inspiration in the fashion world from because they're all pretty stylish. Like especially
yeah.
they had a pretty good look. All of them were pretty. I mean, it was basic, but it was
I mean the Sailor Guardian outfits. Like, I'm like, why are they sailors? Why aren't they space cadets? Because totally, at least Usagi's a total space cadet.
yeah.
Like,
But they
I don't
were
know.
in sailor outfits.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's it.
it was that. But I also there's not a lot of differences besides the color in the costumes, but there is like art like the accessories are different. Like Mercury, Jupiter, she has kind of like the rose earrings. See Venus has like the star ones, I believe.
And boots.
Yeah. So each wear different things. Like Sailor Moon has those thigh highs.
And then
Red
I love her little jewels, which, I always like, I don't know if you remember very early on, I'm like, why aren't these other jewels doing anything? Why is it only her tiara, which was at first?
yeah.
And so, like,
She's
I
like a
really
light.
hope that those little jewel things in her buns do something.
I thought they lit up at one point. I might be imagining that. I might have been dreamt that. Like
Yeah, I don't think it's happened yet.
they kind of came up on it as like a flashlight or something. Like got some light.
Yeah, something. Laser beams or I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So the four sisters they got reformed. Then that all that was Rubius, who was their leader at the time, the redheaded guy who was he was abusive to them, like he was just pretty much using them.
Yeah,
Uh, and that's part of the reason why they try and like, oh, this guy was he's just using us, and then
yeah,
they wanted to die, but they like, no, what, just make them human instead, because they were just kind of like not fully the nemesis human or humanoid,
yeah,
just humanoid. So they became human, lost their powers, and lived happily ever after. Those four did. We see him
yeah.
again, but
Wait, didn't they have powers later when they came to help
no,
protect
nope.
at the very end?
They mentioned they don't have powers anymore
Oh,
when I'm jumping ahead again, but when Sapphire ran into them, like they mentioned
oh,
they didn't have powers anymore. So they get beat, and then that's all. Then we get Rubius as Murad, who had the most annoying laugh, but it worked for her because she was supposed to be aggravating and
oh,
annoying.
God, and she was.
She was. I can't do.
And she stayed for so long, too. I
She did.
can't even. I don't remember quite how to do it. I've like blocked it out of my memory. Things that
It's very
irritate me,
high.
I try not to remember.
It's high pitch and shrill.
I
It's
don't
kind of
know.
like that. Yeah, that's close.
I don't know. Too much H there.
She was in love with Prince Demond.
But
And
he was obsessed with Sailor Moon.
yes, and he was also being manipulated by Wise Man, who is the most suspicious person in a series I've seen in a while. Like, why would you trust this? Why is he doing this? Why would you trust this guy? He you've never seen his face.
He's got a creepy voice.
Yeah, crappy
He
voice.
won't answer a question straight.
He seems like a Jin, and Jins are never trustworthy. So I don't know why you're taking, like, he was warned by his brother, by
Dying breath.
yeah, and nope,
Oh, and
so,
he killed his brother right in front of him after he said not to.
yeah, and pretty much kind of I would say he didn't let it go because he did fight him the next
Yeah.
episode.
Which I still swear Saphir looks a lot like Mamoru with just like brushing his
It
hair
was
different.
more lighter tint because Mamoru had the black and his was just kind of bluish tint. Uh,
I could have been lighting in the castle that did that. Because
it
my
might
hair is like purplish right now and it looks kind of brown, but
Oh, even like we see him in different lighting. It's always kind of a bluish tint to his hair,
I
but he
guess.
did look like a lot like Mamoru. They did have a very good
Yeah.
similar.
So back to the story arc. So what happens is each of these characters in turn are going to try to capture the rabbit and first and foremost. And it turns out the reason is because Chibi Usa one can manifest the dark power stronger than others. And she is incredibly strong, honestly. It's not really talked about so much, but she's got a lot of power. She really does.
Because she's got the silver crystal inside of her too, so that's also bumping her up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, she because she keeps on trying to go back to the future because she's she's this child. She's having trouble handling the situation she's in. So she wants to go back to the future to see her mom. So the first time she does that, um, of course, every time she tries to do that, she signals to the Black Moon Clan where she's at. But also, like, it turns off the gravity in this area, uh,
Yeah.
which is like, okay,
Well, that makes
that's
sense because space and time are linked, honestly.
yeah.
It does make sense from, you know, astronomy aspect because gravity, well, I don't want to try to explain it right now,
Yeah.
but it does make sense. But yeah.
We're not talking physics here. We're
Yeah, we're
talking
not gonna I won't get into it, but
yeah. It makes sense because she is trying to open the time to space and time to go to the future. Doesn't work out. Calls the monsters. They fight. Sailor Moon saves her.
yeah.
And
Sailor Moon saves her over and over again.
yeah. Then like she likes Momo because he's very kind to her. So they every time like
It seemed a little inappropriate at first, though, to me.
with her, like she's tripping on trying to push it, but uh she liked, like, even though she had issues with Usagi, when all three of them were together, she felt like it was home to her,
Yeah.
even though she was always abrasive.
And then
Like,
she still betrayed her later.
yeah, she tried to get like Ray to replace her at one point. And it's like, you know what, this doesn't feel right. Bring Usagi back. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it was weird. And so ultimately, the reason that the Black Moon Clan, because that's what they were called, the Black Moon Clan. So maybe they were banished from the moon. I can't quite remember.
they were they
Um,
were they were also trying to power the. They were trying to find the silver crystals that could destroy it because it was the only thing that could oppose the malefic black crystal, which
yeah,
is
which Tokyo becomes Crystal City later
Neo
in,
Crystal Tokyo.
yeah, 1,000 years later, Crystal Tokyo.
Because the world is like in ruins at one point, then Sailor Moon pretty much
Yeah, I hope we
rebuilds the
find out,
world.
or maybe it's been corrected. Who knows? But there's supposed to be, what is it, 900 years of ruin?
Yeah, pretty much. So starting in about 20 years.
Yeah, but we don't know how that happens yet, or if it's still going to happen,
Yeah. Uh,
because it could have been caused by the Black Moon Clan. But the whole thing is the Black Moon Clan has been holding on to all of this hate for so long, and they're kind of fueled by it, and also being manipulated by what's
Wise
his name,
man.
Wise Man. And they think they're going to go home, but all he wants to do is destroy it, and none of them want that. They want, frankly, they want the Earth. They want to live there. They want to be in charge of it. And that's the opposite. He wants total destruction, and he thinks humans are a scourge on the universe, and he's not wrong.
So
um,
yeah,
but yeah,
he well yeah so since we're going there, he kidnaps uh Chibiusa and brainwashes her, turns her into Black Lady, and
which
she
aged her up.
yeah to like a teenager, I
Oh
guess.
no, she was
It's
like a grown ass
in
woman, I
her
thought.
20s, probably early 20s.
Yeah.
And he tried to mentally attack Sailor Moon in the weirdest way possible, because like, oh, Chibius, a Black Lady, and Mamo got together. I was like, that's gross. And then
Yeah.
his daughter. Uh,
Yeah. Though nobody technically knew that at the time, right?
at that time,
Oh, that time we did know.
no, they knew. By that time, they
Oh.
knew, because remember they found out a couple episodes earlier, when before she got kidnapped.
Oh yeah, and because they ran into Future
Endymion.
Endymion. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, oh yeah, that's that girl, future child. So they
You know,
knew.
here's another thing though. So we see that future Neo Serenity is encapsulated in this crystal that the other Sailor Guardians have done to seal her in and protect her. But then at the very end, in the future, they're all back together, but there's no clear explanation on how they got her out of that. My best guess is it was the silver crystal, but we
I
don't
think
actually.
I think because the threat of the Black Moon Clan was gone by that point, because they were pretty much constantly attacking them.
Well, they didn't know how to get her out, I thought.
I
Or
thought they
was
were
that just for protection from them?
I thought they were waiting for the silver crystal. I don't know. I think it was protection, because
But why would you protect the most powerful person instead of letting them fight?
I don't know. Well, she didn't have the crystal at the point too. That's why she was in the. I don't know why she wasn't fighting. All the other ones were still active, but she came back at the end.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Present Usagi channeled her. Um,
Yes. Yes. So we don't quite understand what the channeling is, but you and I both were kind of thinking like, um, especially knowing that Pluto is the one protecting space and time. But it seems like Usagi's in this like kind of superposition from like a black hole theory standpoint where she can channel into future or past selves, just like Mamoru is sharing memories from all sorts and different lives, because Usagi was sent there by her mother when the moon was destroyed in season 1, right? And so
yeah,
she grew up in this surrogate family, super abusive. um
like I'm wondering if it's something like Doctor Manhattan, where he experiences everything at the same time, no
yeah,
matter, yeah, where he
yeah, that's kind of
ages.
what yeah,
Yeah,
but she's not aware of it until like unless she's using the silver crystal.
or she's in the princess mode or queen mode.
Yeah, we it seems like that's only triggered when absolutely necessary. So I would love to see what's well, I don't know. I want to understand it better.
I don't know if we will.
Maybe we won't.
I figure we'll probably get more Chibiusa. I don't know if we get more
Yeah.
future stuff. I imagine we'll get some more. It has to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um. So
But yeah.
we haven't mentioned, which is also a big part, the art in the show. Like some of the artwork in this, some of the still shots, like especially like during like the Makai tree, the way
Yeah.
we drew the road. The Queen Barrel's like hideout, that skull building, like one eye's kind of glow and the other one's more dark, and they have like a purple. Uh,
Yeah.
they had a lot of great artwork in this
And of course, the
series.
color scheme with lots of pinks and purple, uh,
Yeah.
which I did my makeup in honor of it and put my little double buns. My hair's short right now, so I can't do the
Yeah.
whole. But
So we really haven't really mentioned much of the artwork, which I think really sells the story. And it's uh, N- Nako Takeuchi, I think that's how you say your name. She did a great job of. I'm sure I probably grabbed a lot of them from her work. I'm sure the animation crew did uh, a lot of their own creations, but like the Cream Barrels Castle, the Makai Tree, I think it's from the actual anime team. They did a great job because everything in there looked great. Like the designs for uh Al and An, they look great. Like they're kind of like their pointy ears, blue eyes, white hair, their outfits, like
yeah, I
red.
definitely love the fashion in the show, though there are some weird decisions made, and it can be very hypersexual, but Americans are pretty prude about that, and usually prefer violence, and this is kind of the opposite. This one's highlighting a lot of feminine energy, obviously, and love and justice, and has less of the visible violence.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry if I derailed your thought.
It's all right. I just kind of wanted to mention the art because we've gone throughout this whole thing without really
Yeah.
mentioning. Uh,
Yeah, no, it's great. It's definitely got a very different color palette. I can't think of another show with such a distinct color palette. Um a friend of mine, she was like, I guess very early on I knew I was gay since I loved the color palette of Sailor Moon. And I was like, I guess. Is it a gay color palette? I mean, it seems very feminine to me.
yeah,
Or like, traditionally feminine. Um, but
it's it's that '90s aesthetic, which I kind of miss from a lot of like the newer anime series. They have kind of like this glossy look to them.
mhm.
It has to do with the improvement of the animation, but it doesn't feel as, I want to say gritty. Not gritty. I don't know if gritty's right word because gritty, describe for like a
Raw?
pulpy raw. Yeah, I think that's a good one. It doesn't have as much of a raw feel to it. Like Yu Yu Hakusho, this and Slam Dunk, Dragon Ball, like those are all like '90s series. You can tell the decade they're from because of their aesthetic and their color palette.
Yeah.
But you,
Yeah. I often imagine like a lot of like bold yellows when I think of the 90s. Yellows and bold reds for I don't know. And then of course there's also the pastel palettes. But
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it definitely is it does pay nice attention to a lot of the artwork and these palettes and the fashion. Like that's really interesting to know that they were
like, inspired
emulated.
by actual fashion at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because Chibi Usa's Black Lady, man, that was a dope outfit.
it was. It
That
was like,
was
uh, I mean, there's a lot of black dresses in fiction, but that one stood out.
well, and it had the undercolor to the bright pink, I think it
It
was.
was kind of a sheer around like the neck area,
Yeah.
in the arms, and she had like
And
that
very flowy.
scarf thing. I don't know if that's a scarf or her hair. I think it was a hair. It was a hair that was kind of flowing around her.
Yeah. All sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
So did Queen Serenity or Princess Serenity's dress.
Yeah, it went from the first season with the poofy sleeves to just like a tube top, and I love that dress.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the wings. I don't get it. Like, who gets to wear wings as fashion?
Um, Scorpions. Actually, no, that was just part of the body, but they didn't fly.
Yeah.
They had the
Yeah.
wings, but they didn't fly. They're just kind of like, oh well, I don't know.
Skypeans are from One Piece if anyone's watching and doesn't
Yeah.
know.
Sorry, should have
We can't
mentioned.
stop talking about One Piece. This is
Uh,
a Sailor Moon here.
that's 95% of my personality is One Piece. Uh,
It's true.
um. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you see people with wings that can't fly. It doesn't make sense, but you see them.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're approaching around the end time. We got about 10 minutes left. Is there anything else that you personally wanted to talk about? I do think we should mention, like, where do we think it might go? Well, you know. So
Yeah.
maybe don't.
Um. I think that's really about it. We've mentioned pretty much all the characters. I did want to mention the art, so I did throw that in there because they. I wish I could put up like
Yes.
examples because they had some really good, like especially with like the flowers, the opening song, the opening song. It's up there. It's probably in the top 5 OP songs.
Yeah? You think so?
I think it's up there.
I really Naruto's early stuff and I really enjoyed that. For me, I don't necessarily the thing I always remember is Sailor Moon when she's like
Oh,
powering
the
up.
thing during the episode, yeah, the
Yeah.
battle. Well, it stuck me so long because I remember hearing it the English version.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Japanese version, but I mean, I don't know the words. So the English version kind of stuck out to me, and it had really good, catchy. It was catchy lyrics. Fighting evil by daylight, never running from a real fight. She's the one
Yeah.
named Sailor Moon. Yeah. Uh, it was catchy, and they stuck with it. They've changed the endings a couple times, but they've stuck with that Sailor Moon
It's a
theme.
good one.
It
Yeah.
is. It's the same thing they did with Yu Yu Hakusho. They stuck with the same theme the whole time, and that was also another banger. If you have a banger on the first shot, like stick with it.
Yeah. Though I feel like some shows have, like they like to change songs and they're not always for the best.
Like One Piece.
No. Or Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't like the new One Piece song.
I kind of dig it. It's not my favorite.
It's cheesy for what year we're in.
Yeah, well, I don't mind cheesy. I have a soft spot for cheese. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, but I'm not a big cheesy music fan. I like cheesy comedy and
yeah.
anyway.
Um, yeah. I said the music's pretty good in the series. I mean, the opening theme, the second ending, where it's kind of a silhouette of like Princess Serenity.
Yeah.
I like that second ending a lot. The third one is it's all right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and well, and one more thing we haven't touched on, world building. I think it could be done a little better. We have a lot of questions
and
about
I'm gonna say that I don't know if she's as planned out as head as some of the other one. I think she originally went to be a one series and done, but I think they kind of
oh.
built her to continue on the series that passed like the where she wanted to at first.
Mm.
But we did get some good,
Like Supernatural.
yeah, like Supernatural. Well, I
Like we
think
have 10 episodes left and we're just like
I think she
what a
originally wanted to
chore.
cut it off at the Queen Barrel once she beat her. Um, but then they kept on going, which is fine. They
Yeah.
Black Moon Saga was pretty good.
I
I
mean,
really,
that was a serious ending point. Everybody died.
yeah, but I
Like,
would say they did improve on that first series.
yeah,
So
I
I'm glad that
agree.
they keep on going with it.
I
Uh,
agree.
was that a beep warning?
No, that was a message.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I
So
should close my Facebook. Well, because it looks like more are coming too.
okay. So yeah, that's about all I'm going to say about that, though.
Yeah, I have spoken.
I also, this is the way.
This is the way. All right. Well, I just want to say thank you for everybody who ever watches this, if you ever do. And I hope that you're enjoying Sailor Moon with us. And if you want, it would be great if you want to catch in for season 3, and then we'll be recapping season 3 and talking about that. And join us for that. We love open discussion and bringing up other points. And obviously, I mean, sure, we're probably right about everything, but we might not be. I'm just kidding.
We went over a lot.
We
We went
did.
over like 90 episodes and we about a 2 hour time period.
Yeah. Which is a pretty standard podcast, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, but next time we'll be, doing season 3. And so a lot of this will already have been
We
fleshed
won't,
out. Zach, I've been trying to encourage him. He watches a lot more shows than I do, and does really good critiques to let people know what they should or shouldn't watch, or what you're looking for. So fingers crossed he will do a couple of those.
you can find me at Straw Hat Zach at One Piece again at Twitter and TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't have a Facebook. I mean, I have a Facebook, but I don't have a Facebook. Same thing with Instagram.
Yeah. I
I
have a Facebook, and I have like 3 Instagrams. One's for my photography. One was basically become a catalog of my hair, of all the changes I've done to my hair since 2012. And then, of course, my dog Reese has one, but we haven't really used it lately. And also, I am the founder and co-artistic director of the Quarantine Queens Theater Company. We are an online international all-women plus theater company. We have some really great stuff coming up. There's Black History Month coming up, and we're doing a night of classics. Gonna be amazing. Amazing, talented women from all over, including England, multiple crossing time zones. And then we have Henry VIII coming up in March, which will be directed by Jacqueline Hume. Yours truly will be just in time again, who is a fictional detective who solves literature crimes in a pretty hilarious way. So yeah, you can look out for those things coming up with me. I'm also basically like a co-host on 2 radio shows. I've become basically a regular co-host. Bottoms of the Barrel is on q4radio.org, or you can find us on AM 1680 from 5 to 7 on Saturdays, CST, and then on Tuesdays it's News What News, and that's from 4 to 6 p.m. CST. Great show, obviously covering a lot of current news events. And then I have a podcast I'm working on also that I have to get finished, so hoping to be providing a lot of work. And I did want to show you, this is my most recent painting. This was for a commission that I did of somebody's album, and this is the cover. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but that album's going to be coming out, and I will be sharing a release of that just because I did all the album art and photography. So if you want to do any work with me, let me know. I love to collaborate. I'd love to get you involved in anything. And yeah, you can find me on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, wherever. Unfortunately, Facebook is a good place to contact me, and I really want off of it.
Yeah, we'll probably put our show souls in the description once this is posted.
In the doobly doo.
Yeah, and doobly do. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
That'd be very helpful.
Yeah, and put that little bell on so if we go live, you can join us. Yeah, I would love more interactive.
Yes. We're probably, once we're done with Sailor Moon, I don't know what we have planned after that. We can stick with anime. We can jump to, we haven't watched Rick and Morty yet, the new season of that,
Oh yeah.
or
Yeah, we're always watching something, and we always have lots of strong opinions.
yes, yeah. I take I take notes, of course, and so does she.
Yeah.
But yeah, we critiquing content. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, cousins critiquing content. We may even critique TikTok videos for all I know. Whatever, we critique whatever we want.
Movies, TV shows, books, TikToks.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you want to know our opinions on something, let us know. If you want to recommend something, if you want to know if you should watch something, yeah. Um, so just find our contact information again. And yeah, thank you for
All right.
joining us.
Yeah, have a great day, good night, evening, wherever you're at.
And in the
And
name of the moon, thank you.
I'll say we'll punish you.
No.
No, we'll punish you with good content.
Yes, yes, that is what we will do.
Yes,
All
indeed.
right. Let me stop this live already. Oh, there's the button.